All right, everyone. So we have another video here from Cartoon Universe, and this one was requested called Stolas' Childhood and Asmoudean Crystals, Everything You Missed in Season 2, Episode 1 of Helluva Boss, The Circus. Now, we did react to another video from Cartoon Universe, and you should have already seen it because it should have been out before this video. And there is another video that they put out that I do want to react to and kind of want to hear what they think about, and I really want to discuss it with you guys. And that video should be out after this one. And before we get to this video, guys, as always, I do have to ask you that if you have any requests of your own, if there are any videos out there you want me to watch, just let me know about them in the comment section down below, and I will get to them. And if you want to show your support for this channel, you know what to do: like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And make sure to click on the bell icon if you do choose to subscribe to this channel, because YouTube's notification system is still pretty broken. It doesn't really notify people whenever the people you subscribe to actually post a new video. I don't know why that is. I still have no idea why they haven't fixed it after all this time, but it is what it is. So if you just want to if you want to make sure you get notified, just make sure to click on all notifications when you click on the bell icon. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch this video.
Season 2 of Helluva Boss has returned, so here is everything I am claiming you missed, and all the little things that I thought about the season premiere. But real quick, if you want to chat about the episode with me and my other online friends, come on down to my Has-Been Lore Discord server. Links, as always, are in the pinned comment down below. Now, Stolas' castle appears in the opening shot again, but this time it has Paimon seal on it, who we now know to be Stolas' father. Despite that, the castle seems to have been built with Stolas in mind, complete with its astral theme. I imagine that there are other castles out there for all the other princes that Paimon is the father of too, each being trained in their own little ways for their Goetia duties in their own little kingdoms. While walking down the long hallway, we can see Stolas' life in the form of portraits, starting at...
By the way, someone pointed this out, and I actually, again, I'm kind of kicking myself for not noticing this, but the doll that he has here looks a lot like the character Max from Sam and Max, and how they basically made him into an imp. And I thought that was a nice little Easter egg that they included in the episode.
As a royal egg, an ugly little chick, and eventually the young Stolas we see. Already he has an interest in imps, with the beloved stuffed animal making it through 3 portraits with him, really explaining why he would find an imp at the circus.
And I also like that even at a young age he still had an interest in botany, because I don't know if this is the same plant that we saw in episode 2, maybe, but yeah, I do like that, you know, even at a young age he was interested in plants, and he still has that as an adult.
It's with him, really explaining why he would find an imp at the circus so comforting later in the episode. He really is just projecting his love for his childhood toy onto Blitz, and then romanticizing their forced childhood friendship as an adult. Introducing Blitz in this flashback was pretty surprising to me, as I did not expect Stolas and Blitz to be near the same age.
Yeah, that was something I actually didn't expect from the episode either. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I always thought that, you know, like Stolas and Blitz were just 2 strangers who happened to meet, and they ended up making this arrangement, you know, between them where, you know, Stolas gets something that he wants and Blitz gets something that he wants. Stolas gets, you know, Blitz every full moon, and Blitz for the rest of the month gets to keep the grimoire, which allows him to gain access to the human world, to allow him to actually, you know, do his job. Although now that we found out, thanks to the second episode, which I'm sure he's going to probably going to bring it up in this video, the Asmoudeus crystals, which someone on Twitter managed to translate the runes that were in the page into English, and apparently it's what allows succubi to get into the human world and, you know, do what they do. And I've seen people theorize that maybe this the reason why they brought that up in the episode is that they're hinting at Stolas possibly giving Blitz one of these so that, you know, he gets to keep the book, so that because he did mention multiple times throughout season 1 that Blitz having the book isn't, like, it's dangerous because it's illegal, and also like it could get him in trouble with the higher ups in hell. So it could be a way for him to avoid that by getting the book back. But at the same time, I've seen people theorize that maybe this is going to be like a test from Stolas to see if maybe what was between him and Blitz real, if he takes away the one thing that kept Blitz coming back to him every month. And if Blitz doesn't, then that's pretty much his answer. But if he does, then that's basically another answer, that yeah, what they had was more than just, you know, a simple transaction between the two. But if he doesn't, then it was never real. And well, maybe then Stolas can at least move on to try and form a connection with someone in a real way that doesn't start off as a you know, a transaction. At least, and it's not just for Stolas, but also it's good for Blitz to you know, maybe at least try to get over some of his issues that he's had ever since a kid, at least according to what this episode says. And I know a lot of people, because I've seen some people say that they're not a big fan of the fact that Blitz and Stolas met when they were a kid. And if I'm being honest, like, I don't know if I'm a big fan of it either. It just seems too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, oh, these two, guess what? They met when they were kids, and then I don't know, maybe like something happened. I theorized in the reaction that I did. I theorized that maybe something happened, that Blitz and his dad got caught, you know, doing what they were doing, you know, stealing from the palace all their valuables, and that maybe Paimon did something to where maybe it caused Blitz to not remember. At least that's what I theorize. I don't know if that's true, or it could be just that, you know, like they never met after that, and they just, you know, they both went on with their lives, and then they just happened to meet again. But yeah, I gotta be honest, like, I don't know if I'm a big fan of that either. The whole them meeting as a kid, it's just as kids, excuse me. It's just I don't know. It's just it's too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, it's just yeah. But again, if other people don't feel the same, I understand. But that's just kind of how I feel. Like, I'm personally just not a big fan of it.
The actual writings describing the Ars Goetia and the Lesser Key of Solomon only date back a couple hundred years, but the story of the Ars Goetia is that they were demons that could be summoned and commanded, such as by King Solomon to construct his Great Temple, itself a legend believed to have taken place around 900 BC. Considering that Stolas only had a few portraits up, I do not think this is an example of a demon who is a child for thousands of years before his special birthday, where he suddenly starts aging. Even if he was thousands of years old, he only seemed to learn about Earth from books and was just learning his studies with the Grimoire so he can actually go there, so it's not like he is the real-world history of the character. It just seems a bit odd to me that a demon with hundreds of years of concrete history and thousands of years of mythological history would be born so recently. And its recentness even confuses a lot of the more recent history in the show, so look out for a big timeline video this week as I try to sift through that. That being said, this world does not have to have the same history and mythology as...
like, we can react to that one. I don't know if it's... I haven't checked to see if it's out yet, but we can react to that one if you want. Just let me know in the comments if you want me to also react to that video.
Our world, and we do know that it has some distinct differences. Early on in development, there was even plans for there to be superheroes that existed in this world that would also bring their powers with them when they went to hell. While that isn't necessarily canon anymore, it's just a good example of how this world doesn't have to be the same as our world, and thus the mythology that we have that inspired these characters doesn't have to be the same mythology that exists within that world, where these demons may not be known by normal humans like they are here. Regardless, it was really interesting to see that Blitz and Stolas had a history, as I assume that Blitz had just met Stolas relatively recently to starting his business through his industry connections built up through his Circus Act family and bodyguarding for Verosica. One thing that is...
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what a lot of people thought happened. Like, they just happened to meet, and Stolas was just, you know, Stolas was just someone who, like, he was just someone who, like, wasn't really in a good marriage. You know, they got to a point where it was just it just wasn't good between them, but they still chose to, you know, stay together because, well, that's what, that's what the family wants. And they I guess they're the kind of family who, like, care about their or at least he knows that Stella cares about her image and all that, and he doesn't want to bring any unnecessary trouble to himself and, you know, his daughter. But, you know, then Blitz came along, and he did something kind of selfish, and now he was just like dealing with, you know, the consequences of his actions. But now it's, I don't know, it's I mean, he still kind of is dealing with the consequences of his actions, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like this episode kind of recontextualized a lot of things, and I still haven't decided how I really feel about it, if I'm being honest. um I don't know, like I already mentioned the fact that I don't really like the fact that they met when they were kids. I kind of liked it when I kind of liked it when they were just strangers who just happened to meet because of, you know, circumstances. But now it's like, you know, they met when they were kids, and I guess that's how Blitz knew about the book, because literally Stolas told him when they were kids. And maybe he just, like, when he started his business to, you know, kill people for hire, you know, anyone who wants to hire them to kill people, he just remembered, oh yeah, I remember this kid told me about this book that allows you to enter the human world, and that's how he knew about it. And yeah, again, like, personally, that for me, I'm not really a big fan of. Everything else I still haven't decided yet, because I'm still kind of thinking about it. But you know what, I'm curious, let me know your guys' thoughts on the episode and how it kind of recontextualizes a lot of things that we kind of thought we knew about how things happened between Stolas and Blitz, as opposed to how now it officially is, being that they met when they were kids, and that's kind of how everything happened. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments.
What always bugged me is that the morning pink sky that we see around Stolas' house always seems to indicate that we may be in the Sloth Ring. But in this episode, we finally see the house in normal day, and we can see that it has a red sky. So Stolas' mansion, as well as this circus act, take place in the Pride Ring. Stolas' mansion seems to have been built right around Imp City, which itself is a relatively new construction starting in 1981, so Blitz's family Circus may have been part of an early wave of immigrant imps from elsewhere in Hell. Blitz and Fizzaroli seem to have a fascination with Mammon as they get older, and Blitz indicates that he is not from Wrath, so Greed is still a good candidate, assuming his family didn't have roots in the Pride Ring from before the establishing of Imp City. It was also nice to finally see the other performers of this circus also having these marks on their head, indicating that it is a branding of sorts from this circus, which was likely made up of multiple talented families, as opposed to just being based largely around Blitz's family alone, with a few others joining in. It was nice to see how the two interacted as kids, and how Stolas got to play with his stuffed animal come to life, and just be enthralled by anything this imp wanted to do. Fast forward 25 years later, and we're just a few months before Helluva Boss's story really began. Stolas is in a horrible marriage with Stella, but he is looking after Octavia. He seems to start his mornings with a special pill that has a hard-to-read bottle, but in later scenes we will see that his
there's a lot of things I didn't pick up on in my actual reaction, but I think this is one that I did pick up on. I did notice that the name was Belphegor right here.
is a Belphegor branded happy pill. Belphegor is the name of the Prince of the Sloth Ring, according to the Peter Binsfield classification of demons, so these pills are very clearly some sort of drug-you-up relaxer pill that Stolas uses to chill out in his stressful marriage. Even in the morning, Blitz can be seen trying to sneak into the room for Stolas' grimoire. He will later tell Stolas that he is an assassin now, meaning he has decided to start his business, but he knew he would need a portal to the human world to make it work. He's having a hard time getting in, but because of the history that we now know with Stolas, he knows where he's going and what he's trying to get. Some fans, myself included, speculated that parts of the pilot would not be entirely canon to the show, and would be revised using flashbacks from episodes such as this one. I had speculated, for instance, that these two demons that Stella is having breakfast with in the pilot were rough drafts for Andreelfis and his wife. Andreelfis being another Arsgoetia demon who has only been seen in storyboard animatics and concept art on Twitter. They have returned in this episode, however, indicating that they are in fact separate characters from Andreelfis, and the story that Blitz relays to us in the pilot about seducing Stolas was reliable. To expand on it by showing us how Blitz actually didn't have to sleep with Stolas but did anyway was an interesting choice, but one that I feel is true to his promiscuous nature that made sexual activity so unimportant for him that he could give it to someone like Stolas, who found it extremely important after a lifetime of denial, even if Stolas wasn't necessarily into it. It was even more shocking to see that Stolas was not trying to hide his affair after Blitz slipped out, and was openly calling for a divorce at that moment.
See, here's the thing. This, again, like, seeing all these things, like, I remember when I was reacting to it, I was getting kind of confused at a lot of the things that we were being shown in the episode. Like, this is definitely one of them. And there's some other things I kind of want to talk about, but this whole thing, for example, this whole scene about Blitz, or excuse me, not Blitz, Stolas kind of not really hiding his like his affair with Blitz, which to me, I'm not really surprised by that, because again, they are kind of in hell, which I don't think anyone in hell really cares that you're having an affair, because it's hell, they're demons. Like, you don't really expect them to be, or at least you can't really hold them to the same moral standards that we have here, you know. So yeah, I don't think he would really care. But the thing that kind of confuses me is that, and I remember bringing this up in or I could be wrong because it's been a while, but I do remember like mentioning this in my reaction to episode 7, Aussies, when they like during the song number, when Asmoudeus is like telling him that, you know, you used to have a wife and a kid, and he's basically saying that, you know, you gave it up so you and him could do that, almost like he's trying to to shame him, or at least they're trying to show us that Stolas is kind of ashamed of that. But my question is that why? Because it's not like he's ever really hidden it. You know what I mean? Like, even here in front of his own wife and her high society royal friends, he's even like outright bragging about it. Like, Stolas here in this episode is depicted as being someone who doesn't care about that stuff. But at the same time, you look at an episode like Aussies, and he's like sort of hiding his face and acting, you know, ashamed to be seen with Blitz in front of Asmoudeus. But I'm like, why? Like, even before the song number, he says like, wait, like, you mean Asmoudeus? Which that on its own kind of confused me, because it's like, well, wait, wouldn't he know that this is Asmoudeus's place? Wouldn't he know this place is named after him? Did he not see the sign that says Aussies in front of it? And then like later on, or in the episode, you can even see when the spotlight is being shined on Blitz, you can see Stolas trying to hide his face. And again, like, all that kind of adds to my confusion, because it's like, so is he embarrassed to be seen with Blitz or not? Because like, there's the episode tries to tell us things, but shows us things that kind of contradicts that. Like, we're supposed to believe that these people don't really care about royalty and imps being together, but at the same time, like, apparently that's there are times where it's like people are shocked, like, oh my god, a royal sleeping with an imp, but I thought they didn't care about that stuff. So like, again, like, all these things kind of just confuse me, and I think maybe kind of confuses other people. So it's like, well, what exactly is considered normal or taboo in this universe? Like, is it a universe where people don't really care about people having affairs and royalty sleeping with lower class, or does it just change depending on what the episode needs to happen? You see what I mean? Like, I don't know. Look, maybe you guys have an answer for it, because I sure as hell don't. If you have an answer to what's going on, just let me know in the comments, because I, like, again, every time I think about this, I just get even more and more confused. And especially like, what did he say earlier? Yeah, okay, yeah, this probably for me is even more confusing, because it's like, in this episode, like, he mentions to Blitz that this means to him because this is the first time someone actually wants him, and the fact that it's, you know, his first friend means even more to him. So this episode is trying to tell us that from the beginning, Stolas never saw this as being just, you know, a transaction between two strangers that later on just happened to grow into something more. That Stolas always saw this as being something more, and maybe Blitz is the only one who didn't. But at the same time, you look at season 1, and there are things that happen there that don't really line up with what's being told to us here. Like, if Stolas really saw it this way from the beginning, then why was he acting in a certain way in season 1? Like, in literally the first episode, the way he talks to Blitz is like someone talking down to someone, you know what I mean? Like, he even calls him like my little imp, and even the way he says it is like someone sort of saying it condescendingly. But if Stolas, according to this episode, never saw Blitz as being lower than him because of him being an imp, then why was he talking to him in that way? And then, like, even in episode 5, the episode with Stryker, like in the beginning, they like you see them talking, and he even says something like, "My grimoire is not supposed to be lent out to, like, you know, itty bitty imps such as yourself." That's I think the quote from him. So like, why would he talk to him like that if, like, Stolas is someone who, again, according to this episode, doesn't really care about imps, or doesn't see them as being lower than the same way that his family does, like his dad and Stella and the other members of the Goetia family. Like that all those things just add to the confusion. So I don't know, it's just again, like, I think this is why I'm kind of at a point where I'm struggling to decide how exactly do I feel about this episode. Again, if you guys have an answer, if you could help clarify some things for me, let me know about it in the comments, because for now I'm just like, there's so many things that I'm confused about after seeing this episode, and after, you know, like sitting down and kind of thinking about it for a little bit. And like Blitz's actions, like why does Blitz, or I guess with Blitz you can kind of excuse it, because it's like the things that happen to him kind of cause him to see things in a certain way, even if there's like actual evidence to prove him wrong. Like, he's just so messed up because of what happened to him. He starts to convince himself that it is a certain way, even when what's in front of him is literally telling him that that's not the case. I don't know. Again, those are just my thoughts, guys. If you, like I said, if you feel differently, let me know about it in the comments. And if you have clarifications, let me know about it there too. So yeah, all right, I've gone on long enough. Let's go ahead and finish the video.
That Stolas was not trying to hide his affair after Blitz slipped out, and was openly calling for a divorce at that moment. Blitz, of course, went by Blitzo early on, and we know that he still used the name when dating Verosika, but here, seducing Stolas, he is going by Blitz. I had always wondered why he got rid of the name, and while I respect it's kind of a silly sounding name, and Blitz sounds more warlike, as Millie's family explained in episode 5, here Stolas confirms that the name was clown-like, a name he probably received as part of his destiny in his family's circus, despite eventually sucking at it. Removing the O wasn't just to make him sound more menacing, but to get away from his life as a circus clown and all that wannabe fame he was chasing. When we flash forward to the present now, about a year later, we see Stolas is now taking handfuls of those Belphegor pills. Stella, of
Also, just something real quick.
We see Stolas is now.
I noticed that the pills in this shot look different than it did before, so let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Yeah, I think it's here.
To start his business, but he knew he would need a portal to the human world to make it work. He's having a hard.
No, not here. Yeah, here. So look at how.
You up relaxer pill that
Yeah, look, the pills look a little different here. They look purple, or like kind of a purplish color, I guess, to match the bottle, because that they do that sometimes. But here, if you go here, let's see if we can.
He is going by. I respect it's kind of a silly sounding name, and Blitz sounds more warlike, as Millie's family explained in episode 5. Here, Stolas confirms that the name was.
Yeah, here.
Now, about a year later, we see Stolas is now taking.
Yeah, they look different, just a little bit different, just something that I kind of picked up on.
Handfuls of those Belphegor pills.
And I also like how here, when we cut to, you know, the present, we see earlier in the episode there are 2 times where we see Stolas in front of a mirror. But the first time was when he was a kid and he was really happy, and then we flash forward to a month before the pilot, and even though he's a little depressed, he still takes the time to fix himself up. And then here he's like, I don't even care anymore. It kind of showing us that he's like he's so deep in his depression, he's at a point where he just doesn't even care about his outward appearance anymore.
Flash forward to the present now, about a year later, we see Stolas is now taking handfuls of those Belphegor pills. Stella, of course, comes to confront Stolas, and while we may have seen her throw things at him in the past, it is confirmed here that she is not just not afraid to hit him, but that Stolas is so used to it at this point that he knows precisely how to stop her in her tracks.
Yeah, and again, this is something I didn't notice, but just look at this.
He knows precisely how to stop her.
Yeah, look at Stella right here. You can see her expression, like she's shocked that he actually stopped her. Like she didn't expect him to actually stand up to her.
In her tracks, but seemingly.
And this is one thing that I may say some, some things about the episode, but one thing I will say is the animation did get a lot better. Like I love how the characters are way more animated than they were before. Like even in this episode, like little details like what you just saw right here,
Precisely how to stop her in her
like this
tracks.
right here, like her actually looking down, being shocked, and then looking back up to Stola, still trying to maintain her composure. I will give full credit to the animation team, or at least whoever animated this. At least you got to give them credit for that. The animation did get so much better in this episode, and I hope it's going to stay that way throughout the season.
Seemingly never has before. It's a nice implication that Stella wasn't just verbally abusive, but was hitting Stolas knowing there was little he could really do about it that wouldn't result in dire consequences for him. This return to the present may be confusing to some fans who are still wondering what happened to episode 8 of season 1. I explained this in more detail in several videos before, but for those who do not know, the part 2 of episode 8 had to be delayed due to a copyright issue. According to VivziePop, this part 2 was sort of a later addition to season 1 and was more of an animated celebration of the show's progress. I have personally theorized that it would involve Blitz going to a club in the Gluttony Ring to pick up Luna. That turns into its own bigger night. But with the episode having Blitz still return home at the end, making this season 2 finale pick up pretty much in the same place where episode 7 left off. All in all, the plot moves pretty smoothly, and it doesn't feel like we missed anything, so wherever episode 8 was meant to fit in the continuity, it will be interesting to see. During Stolas' song, he pulls out a spell book of Asmoudeus, and we see a page written in runic code that some fans online have already translated, such as @MarkIsDone on Twitter. According to the translations, these are Asmoudeus crystals, generally granted to succubus so they can go up to Earth, which are often easily used and disguised as jewelry. I have yet to piece together why they are focusing so much on this in the music scene. Perhaps he plans to take a vacation up to Earth though, and that's why we see human Stolas later on in the animatic for season 2. And perhaps he and Octavia accidentally end up there when she goes to steal the grimoire, as we saw in a preview for a future episode, which would make sense to be the second one following this. Perhaps when Blitz and the gang run up to get Octavia, they will be surprised to find Stolas there, who is essentially vacationing in Hollywood and not expecting to find his daughter there, who just wanted to go and be at that comforting place in the stars before accidentally ending up in Hollywood with her dad. Right now, I have about 10 Helluva Boss and Has-Been Hotel videos planned for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I think I think I did theorize that he's gonna use it to like leave, and then Octavia's probably going to try to follow him and try to find out what's going on. But then how would like if we go back right here, let me see if I but then how would Blitz be there if he didn't have the book? Because presumably Octavia probably took it with her because she would kind of need it to get back. So I don't think she would open a portal and then just immediately leave it there and go away. I think she would like take it with her. But then and if that's the case, then Blitz and the others would need like a way to go there. And I'm guessing what's probably going to happen is like he's probably going to see the book that has the book open to the page that has that talks about Asmoudean crystals, and he'll probably realize what happened, and maybe that could be a way to bring Verosika back into the story, because he needs to go there because she probably has one of these, because she is a succubus and she needs to go to the human world. So he's probably going to steal that from her, or maybe he'll like ask it from her, which I don't think that's probably the case because there's probably still a lot of bad blood between the two. So I'm guessing he's probably going to steal it to get to the human world to try to get the book back from Octavia. But in the process, maybe he's going to find Stolas, which I'm theorizing is probably what's happening here. Like he thought that Octavia was here, but then in comes Stolas, and they realize they see what happened. At least that's what I'm theorizing. I could be wrong, but
and that's why we see.
Where is it? But yeah, if you don't know what this is, this was shown in a convention, and I think they confirmed that this is from episode 2. So yeah, this is, I guess, literally the next episode. But when it's going to come out, I don't know, because this looks like it's still unfinished, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be released. Well, you guys are gonna see this in August, but I don't know if it's gonna be released this month. I mean, we haven't seen anything yet. Usually they like to release teasers before an episode gets released. So I don't know if we're gonna see it in August, maybe in like September or something. I don't know. But by the time you guys see this, maybe they'll already have like teased that this episode is going to come out in August. I don't know. We'll see.
In the gang run up to get Octavia, they will be surprised to find Stolas there, who is essentially vacationing in Hollywood and not expecting to find his daughter there, who just wanted to go and be at that comforting place in the stars before accidentally ending up in Hollywood with her dad. Right now, I have about 10 Helluva Boss and Has-Been Hotel videos planned for the next 2 or 3 weeks, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. And before you go, check out the teaser for my upcoming project, Cartoon Universe, the movie. The full trailer of which will be available tomorrow.
Okay, so I think that's the yeah. So okay, well there you go. That's the video. I'm not gonna like talk too much at this point because I feel like I already kind of talked enough, and this video was way longer than I intended it to be. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And like I said, if you guys have any like clarification for what's happening, because I'm still confused as hell, because there's a lot of things in the episode that, at least in my eyes, kind of contradicts what we already know, and it does retcon it, and I'm still not sure if I like the retcon or not. I know I said in the reaction that I did that this could possibly like maybe become like in my opinion the best episode that we've seen out of all of them. Like it could possibly rival episode 2 in my opinion. But after thinking about it, I'm like, no, like I don't think this even comes close to the episode 2. It's in the, I would put it in the like the top 5 maybe. Again, like I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still trying to figure out where exactly do I land with this episode, because there's a lot of things they did in there that I'm like, I honestly don't know how to feel about this. But as I said, if you've got some clarifications for some of my confusion, just let me know in the comment section down below. And what did you guys feel about the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I know from what I've seen, the majority of the fandom actually really liked this episode, which if you liked it, awesome. I'm happy for you. No shade against anyone who did. Again, like I still haven't decided where I fall in this episode, and no shade against anyone who didn't like it either. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Why did you like it? Why did you not like it? Or maybe you're someone like me who's somewhere in the middle and still haven't decided where exactly you fall when it comes to this episode. Let me know all that in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you have any recommendations for me, just let me know about them in the comment section down below, and I will react to them when I get to them. And if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please leave a like, share this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, ring the bell for notifications, and I hope I'll see you guys for my next video. Bye for now.